Good morning, everybody. I'm very happy to be here to talk again about Shipdex. A lot of thanks to CSN for this new opportunity. I think that most of you already knows what is Shipdex, and I will spend the part of our presentation just giving a short overview about the Shipdex organization and the Shipdex protocol process. These are the 4 most important pillars Shipdex is based on. First, the Shipdex protocol has been created and it is maintained and improved day by day by the non-profit Shipdex organization. The scope is to push the digitalization inside the maritime industry with the final scope to improve the whole ship life cycle management. The Shipdex protocol is non-proprietary, is independent from any kind of application, and it is open to all the marine and maritime stakeholders. It's very important. Shipdex is not another electronic format like PDF, HTML. Shipdex protocol is not a competitor of PDF. Shipdex is another way to imagine and to produce technical information. Technical information that maybe can also be converted into technical manuals. But a technical manual is just an output from a Shipdex dataset. So this means that it's a way to produce, manage, exchange, and use technical information in a standardized, well-structured electronic format. That means, it is information versus pages of information, digitalization versus digitization. The Shipdex protocol, we will see in the next slide, is based on the aerospace and defense standards S1000D for documentation, S5000F for in-service data feedback. This is our organization. You can recognize some very important manufacturers. Then, Shipdex protocol is composed of 2 different specifications. Shipdex D for technical documentation, Shipdex F for in-service data feedback. Shipdex D is based on S1000D. Shipdex F is the customization for the maritime community of the S5000F. S5000F and 1000D are sponsored by the ASD, AIA, and ATA organization. It is worldwide recognized and used. The Shipdex protocol process. Makers, shipyard can produce their own technical information in a standard mandatory electronic format that we call in Shipdex D format. They can send this data to their customers. Customer can import this data using simple interfaces or API. They can select which information they want to import where. For example, they would like to import spare part catalogs into their ERP for purchasing reason, scope. Or they want to import product breakdown, maintenance plan into their maintenance plan system to perform the day-by-day maintenance life on board the ships. They can also use free of charge Shipdex viewer that can be downloaded from our home page to navigate through Shipdex data. I repeat, they are in XML, to navigate, to retrieve information, and if they want to print like a PDF manuals. Then, once the customer has received this data, they will perform their day-by-day maintenance life on board, and they can send back to the relevant makers all the activity, for example, maintenance tasks performed, failures detected, and spare part used. So this information could be sent always in a standard mandatory format to the makers, to the relevant makers. So this is the final summary. Maker, shipyard can produce what I call static data. For every kind of product, they can produce and can send drawing, breakdown, how to operate, maintenance plan, spare part catalog, and also service bulletin to automatically update information already sent in Shipdex format. They can send to the customer, as I said. The customer can perform their life and send back product failure, maintenance task performed, blah, 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 as I said. This information should be collected in what we call CSDB, Common Source Database. Everyone can have their own common source database. Maker can have the common source database with all the information they have created for their products. Shipyard could have their common source database with all the information related to the equipment they have installed on the ships they have built. Customers can have their own common source database with all the information related to the ships of their fleet. This information, with this exchange of information, we wanted to create a virtuous loop to, at the end of the days, to improve the whole life cycle management. Please remember this slide, because during the panel, we could also discuss about how, if and how AI can empower this process. Thank you very much. I'm always available for answering questions. I leave the stage to my friend and colleague in Shipdex, Henrik Kaspersen. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Hello? Okay, it works. I would like to speak now about how do we put this standard in operation. I think that could also be quite interesting. So as mentioned, I work with Man Energy Solutions, where we design the propulsion systems for the vessels up to the world largest. And I work with two-stroke technical documentation and are located in Copenhagen and work as a Shipdex Competence Center leader on behalf of the whole company. Technical documentation, that is exactly the key word here. The ship owners have received the instruction manuals, the technical documentation, together with the product for centuries. And 30 years back, roundabout, they started to implement software to try to digitalize these processes of organizing the maintenance and the spare part inventory management on board. And in that situation, they received these software systems with an empty database and had to build these databases manually so you could do all your plant maintenance. So as makers, we and other makers started to receive a lot of Excel files to try to help the ship owner to build these databases. Otherwise, they had to do everything manually by typing in. And that was a blurry situation, and there were many risks and possibilities for errors here. So 15 years back, a number of companies got together here and set out with a target. How can we standardize all this to and fro transportation of data so it gets more uniform and well known and accepted in the market? And the result of that was creation of the Shipdex organization, which developed the Shipdex protocol, as Marco explained, which can now help the ship owners to receive information from any ship, any maker, and import it into any system because it is standardized. So that was a big target to streamline this whole process, and as it is non-proprietary, everybody can onboard here. So what we saw before was there could be human errors, lack of structure, and it could take quite a long time to build these databases. And the answer to that was to build the standard where everything was ready-made so it could be imported very fast. So how was the picture in the past? From maker side, we delivered the manuals. It was delivered maybe in paper or maybe in PDF files. PDF file is digital, yes, but it is unstructured information. So on ship owner side, you always had to receive these many manuals and then re-digitize the whole bunch of information to build a structured database so you could do the maintenance planning over time. And that led to all these risks which I just explained before. So the alternative is that on Maker's side, we have also digitalized all our processes and tools. So we are now writing technical documentation into a database, and we can then export PDF, HTML, XML, whatever is needed. And on the receiving side, you also have a database. So what is missing here? The missing link is that these two databases are going to talk together. And how can they do that? They need a common language. The common language is Shipdex. Like that. So you get the digital information in digital flow all the way from Maker to ship owner's database. So there is a choice in the market right now. You can go for the old process, or you can adopt Shipdex as a standard and then have the database created in an instance whenever you have a new building or you take over an existing vessels with no data on board typically. Then you can quite easily get up and running. Oh, sorry. So now that we have this flow in this direction, then what about the other direction? So when you have the structured data in this direction, then you could add inspection reports, measuring reports, sensor data, and you could, in this way, get a lot of data collected. So you have engineering data one way, and you have field information the other way, and all this information can then become knowledge when you apply AI and the algorithms within AI. The AI will be able to understand the data because it is structured and it is tagged for semantic meaning. So now you have a solid foundation. As Nadine explained just before, AI is good, but if it needs data, and if you have structured data, then you have the best foundation for doing the AI development, digitalization in your organization. So scaling up to the fleet level, then you will have the good basis for the further AI digitalization in your organization. So Shipdex data in basic, it is every work procedure mentioned in the manual. Maybe there are 200 of them to cover the product in the life cycle. They have one single data module. Every assembly in the spare part catalog has one single data module, and they can then be sent to this database on the ship owner side, and you will have the database up and running immediately. There are two table of contents. A table of contents saying now you're on the structure, breakdown structure of the cylinder cover, and we have 6 maintenance activities on this component. The database will also know, okay, I have a component and assembly called cylinder cover, and in this case I have 6 of them. So you can do the maintenance, do the history, do the tracking on each individual component in all the levels of the design structure. So that comes ready, wrapped into a zip file, and can get imported within seconds. So I guess there's a good choice here. So to promote Shipdex in the industry, then we are doing a lot of things from MAN side and also together with the Shipdex organization. We can see there are a lot of activities in the market right now. People are doing digitalization, people are utilizing the data and the value of the structured data. So a lot of things is going on, and Shipdex is in the market. 600 datasets has been delivered from my company. There are other makers in the market. I cannot quantify how much they have delivered, but there are Shipdex data in the market, and it is growing, so that is a good thing. So to do even more, then today I'm allowed by my management to offer you a few things. If you like to onboard and be part of creating volume in the market, if you are an IT company, you have such a planned maintenance system on board, you have maybe your own way of building the database, or you leave it to the customer totally to do it. But if you want to engage and try to see what is Shipdex about, then we offer you a free dataset to get started, to evaluate if it is feasible to import it in your system. That is an offer from our side today. Get a free dataset. To the ship owners, I can say the same. If you want to find out, would that be of interest in our company, would it fit into our tools and processes to try to look into Shipdex as a standard, then I will also offer you a free dataset so you can get started and try to evaluate how could it fit into your business. The optimal situation is, of course, we do it together. A man in the solution, a ship owner, and a software company, so we can fix maybe a new building or a recently built vessel and say, for this vessel, we will do a pilot. So we are all agreed what is the scope and what is the result of this trial. So that's offering right now. So the audience, if you're interested in doing such a trial to see what it's all about, then contact me and we will find a way to see what we can do together. So thank you very much. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you. Thank you, Eric. Marco, can you join Eric on the stage? Because we have 4 questions for you.
So.
4.
I know.
The first one is, what is the benefit, operational and cost-wise, for user to have in place Shipdex solution?
Okay, this is always this question. Okay, the advantage I think is very clear, because if you manage information instead of pages of information, we all know that information is a big value. Once you have information, you can use this information for different purposes, for different opportunity, without retyping. The most important thing is to avoid retyping, because retyping is an error-prone, costly, and boring activity. The other question is the cost. Okay, the cost for customers, for user, is close to 0, because they don't need anything. They don't need to negotiate with makers if the maker can give them data set free of charge, or if they ask an extra cost. Shipdex organization is out of the game. I'm talking again always about customers. Customer needs to implement some simple interfaces able to recognize Shipdex data structure, and the structure is always the same regardless the maker, regardless the product, and to decide which information they want to move where. They have to create an API, 2 APIs, or an interface. So the cost is there. There are other costs for makers, because they have to change or to improve their process, and they need probably some tools to produce data in Shipdex format. I hope I have answered.
Yes, and I think you already answered to the next one, because the question is, which are the benefits of Shipdex protocol from user point of view?
I think I answered.
And the next, does Shipdex help in exchange of data with port or flag authorities?
You want to say something? Because I want to.
Authorities are not really part of this now. There is no legislation which enforces the use of standardized data.
Mm-hmm.
But in the past, I had meetings with some classification society, like DNV, ABS, the former Germanischer Lloyd. They were very interested because, once again, another important thing is, once you have standardized data into the common source database, you can use this data. We will see for artificial intelligence. You can move this data, for example, very simple, in the environment of digital twin, autonomous ship. I had 2 days of meeting with DNV in Oslo, and they were excited about this possibility.
Okay, thank you. And the last question is, what are your comments on maritime single window starting in 2024?
Sorry, into?
In 2024. I repeat the question. What are your comments on maritime single window starting in 2024?
Single window? I don't understand what the meaning of a single window.
If the author of the question can explain a little bit more.
Elaborate?
What I can say that we hope that 2024 will be more productive, and to have more makers, more customers embracing the Shipdex community. This is my will for next year.
And the chance is here right now.
MIN is the most active Shipdex manufacturer.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you again, and Oceanly invites you to a coffee break now in the refreshment corner. Thank you.
From the panelists, go and wire for the next step.
Panelists of the next session will need to receive the microphone, so come here. Thank you.